Awesome. Well, welcome, Robert. Welcome to the team. Excited to help you out. And then we got Evan.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Hey, I'm out of Los Angeles, Marina Del Rey area, and I'm coming into this breaking out of the corporate America thing because, like I said in the past, making other people rich and bosses and stuff like that, I never had control over what I was doing. So my interest lay in real estate, investments, and things of that nature. I have other ideas as well, but firstly, as a foundation, real estate, crypto. I want to get into that as well. But everything I want to do as far as financial literacy, I want to do everything correctly. Because when you come into the business side of it, coming out of corporate America, you don't really have that guidance. And I need that guidance to show me how to scale while I'm building the business from the beginning. So I don't make all the mistakes that most of us make coming into a brand new business and things of that nature, that I'm getting the financial literacy that actually helps me make the right decisions and grow.
Absolutely. Well, that's great. So one of the things that we do in this group is that we are active on Discord. So if you all are not on, I think you all are on Discord. Evan, I don't know. Did you make it on
Yeah.
Discord yet?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm on.
And do you go by, I mean, I thought your name is Evan, right? Or is it
Yeah, my
it's
nickname
Seven?
is Seven. I just go by Seven for the most part.
Okay, got you, got you. So I'll call you Seven. I was like confused. I'm like, I know your name is Evan, and I keep
Yeah, I
saying
tried to
S. So
explain that. I tried to explain that earlier, but yeah, yeah, you got it now though.
all right, cool. So I'll go with Seven. Okay. So we have a the Discord group, and on the Discord group, what we do is just for the sake of accountability, we do share like today I will, and top priorities, and just make sure that we all just stay accountable to each other. But more importantly, it keeps you accountable to yourself because what happens is when you are doing the daily discipline, you don't want to come into the daily discipline not doing what you said you were going to do the day before. So just one of those situations that if you get an opportunity to do that, let's start doing that. And you'll do it, and then you'll fall off, and then you'll start doing it again. Like I think I fell off the last few days as well, so I'm going to get back to it as well because it really helps me when I do it. I'm way more productive when I do it than when I don't. Um, so, as I told you all, tell you about the good days in business and also the challenging days in business. So today, I have one of I guess, my top service person slash operational person is on maternity leave. So she just had her baby yesterday. So congratulations to her. It's a healthy baby boy. Her name is Ariane. She's a big part of our service team. So we've been doing everything that we could to prepare for handling service as she was about to leave for at least 3 months. And then what happened? So as soon as she leaves, we have one of our insurance slash service people turn in her resignation the day after she leaves. So I was like, oh, well, you can have, like Mike Tyson said, you can have a plan. Everybody can have a plan until they get punched in the face. Right. So there goes that plan, right? So then we have another one of my other operational person that's left gets food poisoning. So she has to go home. So she's gone. And then my last operational, we got two more operational people. One of my operational person, she's out sick already. So then we got one more operational person left, but she more so oversees a lot of the operations. She's not a doer, and quite frankly, she's not good at doing the work. But she's the one that's left. So so I have been having to step in and kind of help out as much as I can. On top of all of that, we have a big client event tonight that we're getting ready for that has over 150 clients. So dealing with operations and getting done with that. So what do you do when you are with those situations? And we all will have those days. On top of that, things could get any worse. I get a call that one of my top clients who just spoke to a week ago just drops dead, passes away. Um, Very healthy. I was literally just talking about her two weeks ago because I was talking about if I had to think about who my ideal clients were, who would those be? And out of three couples, they were one of the couples, and she was very healthy, just died. Um, so that was pretty interesting. And we were having to maneuver some things around, maneuver some appointments around, and do all of those things in all of those situations. So You said all in 1 week. How about all in 1 day? Right? So this is all in 1 day. So how do you deal with those challenges when those things happen? And it seems like things are just bam, 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 bam coming at you just like that, right? First off, you got to understand that the way that you respond to it is way more important than what actually happens, right? Because sometimes you can get into this, oh, woe is me, all of this, you deal with these situations and all of these particular things, right? And then if that were to happen to you, unfortunately, the way the law of the universe works, you attract more of it. So at some point, when it seems like the storms are continuing to come, you just have to stop and say, okay, I got to change my mindset. One way that I do that is I look back and I say, what is the opportunity? What is the opportunity that can come from this? Because surely everything that happens is some lesson if you take it as a lesson and some kind of opportunity. Well, think about the person who left from the service/insurance side. That particular person is somebody we've been holding people very accountable. And quite frankly, he's somebody who was not an ideal cultural fit. Remember, we talked about changing the cultural fit for the sales team to being more so happy, hungry, honest, happy, but also I created those 10 sales commandments that we talked about. As I had began to think, this person was not a person who was really going to be a future at Compass. He was kind of like a placeholder because I knew that he didn't have the kind of energy and the effort that we really needed to see grow. So instead of me being upset that he's gone, I was thankful, right? So I shook his hand. Congratulations. I'm praying for you the most success ever. Because what that does, that creates an opportunity that was roadblock. Now Brandon and Latoya, who had been put on my team, they wasn't getting many of the insurance appointments because they were going to him. Although Brandon and Latoya had been much better and much more active at the insurance process. Gerda, who I'm really training to be a part of the team long term, that opens up a space for her. So what it does, it gives us the opportunity to change our culture from the top down, right? We're able to put the people in place who are ideal cultural fits and who can change the dynamic of our team and build the type of habits on top that we want to build throughout the whole organization. So that creates a huge opportunity there, right? So also, I've been getting much better reviews from my on my team about Latoya and Brandon. So that gives them an opportunity to really increase the reputation of the whole company as a whole, right? Because I didn't just move, I wasn't just going to move the guy from his spot unless he did something to really, really, truly deserve it. So the great thing is when you start holding people accountable. So let me tell you all about this about accountability, because I talk a lot about accountability. People think, well, when I start holding people accountable, it's really going to grow the organization. It will, but also understand that accountability may not grow the organization the way that you think the organization is going to grow. And what I mean by that is when you hold people accountable, some people improve and they step up to the plate and they become top performers. And some people can't handle it. And when they can't handle it, you won't even have to fire anybody. People will quit because they don't like the accountability. They don't like being responsible for the results that they say they're going to do. And they'll quit, you know. Now, in this essence, this guy's going to go start his own business. So I wish him the most success. But I also know that if he responds in his own business the way that he responded here, he's not going to be successful. So sometimes it takes something like that to kind of shift the person when they realize how tough it is on the outside. Sometimes it makes them to realize that, wow, I got to get myself together. And that's what I'm hoping and praying for him. But that's accountability. So I go back to, I think I told you all this about a year ago. I was talking to one of my mentors because I have mentorships I pay for a lot of money for. And what I told him was, look, man, I'm doing great. My profits could be a lot better, but I've had my same team for 4.5 years. I've kept my team together and we have got camaraderie on the team. And he looked at me and he said, and you think that's a good thing? I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah, it's a good thing. I've been able to maintain my, he was like, if you're able to keep all of those people for 4.5 years and make no changes on your team, that means that you're a horrible manager and you're not great at holding people accountable. I said, wow, I never thought of it like that way. He said, because I guarantee you there are some underperformers on your team that are skating by because you're not holding them accountable and you're actually losing, not knowingly, you're about to lose some of the top people on your team because you're not holding the people who are not doing their job accountable and they're picking up all the slack. And that's exactly what was going on. Exactly what was going on. So with my new changes and my new operating system, I started to have weekly meetings, daily accountability meetings, etc. And if I look back on the last year, I want you all to understand over the last year, I have lost maybe 5 people off my team. 5 people off my team in the last year. Now I've hired a couple new people, but I've lost 5 people off my team. My business has grown by 40%. Some people I never replaced. 3 of the people I never replaced, which means that I was holding on to people that once they were let go, it was actually an addition by subtraction. My question for you is, because I always want you to reflect and think as I'm talking to you and I'm coaching you. My question to you is, what are you hanging on to? What thoughts, what ideas, what people, what relationships? What are you holding on to that could potentially be an addition by subtraction if you let it go? You don't have to say it. I don't want you to say it because it might be your spouse. Hope not. You don't have to say it, but how many people can think of something when I say, what are you holding on to that could be an addition by subtraction? Anybody thinking of anything in their life? Don't say what it is. Raise your hand. All right. Again, don't share it. Now, this is where I ask this question. Does anybody want to share? Does anybody want to share what they're thinking about that could be an addition by subtraction if you let go? And if it's a no, that's fine. It's a no. But if it is a yeah, if it's not unreasonable to get you to participate on that, who wants to participate on that? Anybody? Going once.
I'll share.
Oh, thank you. We got one volunteer. I love it. Go
Yeah, this
ahead.
is Ivy. So, for me, I think it is people. So I think over the last few years, with me evolving into a new person, and constantly evolving, realizing that everybody will not be able to go where God is taking me. So actually learning when it's time to let go and to release, it creates me to have more mental and spiritual space for what God is bringing, and then he'll bring new people, but if I'm holding on to things in the past or things that are not supposed to go with me, I don't create space. There's no space for the new. So that's what it has me thinking about. So I think I'm finally at that space of surrendering and trusting what God has for me, and knowing that unfortunately everybody can't go. So
You know what? I got me a Lamborghini and it only has a seat for me and a passenger.
yeah.
It got one other seat. And multiple people say, hey, can I ride in it? Nope. It only has one passenger because everybody can't come with me.
Right. Yeah.
That's how it is on life. Some people
Yeah.
just can't get on the ride. Some people can't get on the bus, and you have to be okay with that. I actually had like I don't know, I'm not trying to get you all to be religious or anything or spiritual, but I was at an event and I was feeling like, man, people who I was close to was I wasn't getting invited to stuff. I was like feeling like rejected. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And because it kind of like all kind of came from nowhere. And then God was like, I'm doing something with you. And what I'm doing with you, everybody can't go with you. And in order to make room for the new beginnings that I have for you, we got to let go of the things of the past that you're holding on to. And he said it was kind of like, you're holding on to a treasure chest, but the treasure chest is just filled with sand. I want to put gold in it, but I can't fit the gold in it if the sand is piled to the top. We got to let go of the sand in order for me to fit the treasure in. So, so again, sometimes we always think about what more can I do when it's not about what more can you do. Sometimes it's about what can you let go of. For me, it was letting go of some relationships in my life. It was letting go of me saying yes to everything. You know, I was saying yes to every speaking engagement, every opportunity, every coaching program, everything that I could think of to say yes to. And then I had to start saying no, even things that were of value. I had to say it's of value, but is it truly costing me too much of my time where it's no longer of value? Too much of a good thing can be a bad thing too. So I had to start letting go to a lot of these speaking engagements. And again, I was able to focus more on my financial business, and that's how I grew. So thank you so much, Eve. ID, I appreciate you for sure participating. 7, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I decided to say that for me, what I've noticed is the way we think has a lot to do with our subconscious, what's been programmed into our subconscious. And some of which for me is trauma and PTSD for me. So I've had some events that have occurred, and multiple events that have occurred that that need repairing per se. So my concept of certain things and the way that I grew up tie into some of those things. And I find that a lot of times people say that the subconscious needs to be reprogrammed, revamped, so that we can see things in a different way, so that we can more or less leverage a better perspective of who we really are, because we have baggage, and that baggage gets locked into the subconscious. So what we have to do is somehow break into that, reprogram it, so that we can be better from it. Have you heard of that before? Has anyone heard of that before? Yeah. So when we embark on anything, we have to be working on ourselves in the physical when we're in business, but we also have our mental and we have our spiritual. So the mental portion sometimes jumps in the front with stuff we can't see or even understand why we do what we do or why we make the decisions we make, because those programs are running in the background. Like, I don't know if anyone understands how computers work. I used to be in IT. RAM in your computer is kind of like the size of your desk. Whatever you could put on your desk, that's how much RAM you can operate on. But if you have a bunch of trash on your desk that you cannot see, you need to remove that in order to make your desk more productive per se. And that's how the subconscious works. So, is there any kind of implementation that when we are embarking in our journeys that come from the mentorship that helps us with that portion of being better per se? I'm not sure if you have anything like that, but
oh yeah, we talk about that and mindset and different things like that, decluttering all the time. So, and the great thing about everybody who enters the mentorship, you're going to be able to add your voice to it as well. So definitely appreciate it, 7.
Yeah.
Thank you. Another thing that sometimes we got to get rid of, you all, is limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs. Like, what are you stopping yourself from becoming or stopping yourself from doing because of the own limiting beliefs that you have, right? Sometimes it can be as simple as, not going to say any names, but you'll know who I'm talking about. There's going to be a huge success story that's in this room, a couple of huge success stories that are in this room that almost didn't do the mentorship because of $100 a month. Literally. I want you to imagine 1 year from now, your business increases, you have a business and it increased by, I don't know, 50% or more. And then you're on your way to $1 million business and you look back and say, I almost didn't do it because it would have cost me an extra $100 a month. You see, that actually happened to me, believe it or not. When I started in my financial field, now I'm a Hall of Fame 8-figure earner right now. But when I started off as a financial advisor and I got hired at my first financial advisor job at Edward Jones, I was working at that time at Wendy's and Lowe's. And people in my family were telling me, are you sure you want to take that job? I mean, it's a good opportunity, but if you fail your test, then you don't get the job. And Wendy's came and said they wanted to give me a promotion to team leader. And then Lowe's came and they tried to keep me and said they wanted to promote me to the tool manager. I didn't know anything about tools, but you want to know how crazy this is? I literally turned down Edward Jones to take a pay raise to be a team leader at a hardware store, Lowe's, where instead of me getting paid $11 an hour, they're going to promote me and give me $14.50 an hour. And I turned it down. That sounds crazy, right? But that shows how limited my thinking was at the time. And then I had to go back and, one of the Lowe's team, I remember it's this older guy. He's a client of mine now, full circle. But he came to me and he said, young man, let me tell you this. He said, you should leave. You should never be afraid to leave because you can always come back to this. You may not be able to come back to that opportunity. And I listened to that older wise man and I left. And I'm thankful for that because I would have missed out. I wouldn't be where I am now if I wouldn't have taken that opportunity at that time and actually stuck to my future instead of being fearful of my present. I posted something the other day, and just so that you all can see this, that I don't cap when I say this. So I follow a system called Profit First, where I actually take my profits out every month from my account. Oops, let me see. So I never keep my money in my bank account. Once I get paid, I put money into my tax account. I put it into my hold on one second, let me focus on this. Got it. And I put money into my my business owner's expense account. So anyway, I'm gonna show you this. This is literally one of my business accounts right here. I don't know if I hate this damn. How do I make this thing show? There we go. All right, here we go. So you see here, one account on top, your numbers, that's $1 million, right? In cash that I got to reposition. It's 118,000, 141,000 total in this account, 1,687,773. And I show people, if I look at this, what's possible. This shows you some deposits. That's a $27,000 deposit. Come up a little bit. That's a $166,000 deposit that hit my account. I'll tell you why I'm doing this in a second. This is the same week. Oh, this is right. All right, here we go. Can barely see that, but that's 692,193, 15,000. So anyway, a lot of this money came within a month, right? Actually, within the last couple of weeks, that just hit my account. I just got to take my profits from the account. So I lead a bunch of insurance agents and people in the financial field around the country. So I posted in this group, and basically in this group, I basically said, hey, don't give up on this business, right? This is a business. Let me tell you exactly what I said. Hold on. Okay. So I said, this is a business where you don't want to give up on because you can work a lot and earn a little at the very beginning, but then eventually you will work a little and earn a lot. And you earned every penny of it. So, and I posted, I said, this is just an example of one day's deposit, $692,000. They all came from this business. This was not my coaching program. This was not anything. So when I tell you all, when I'm coaching you all, a lot of people don't do good in their own business and they coach people so that they can actually make money to survive in their own business. I do great in my own business. I'm really doing this business to help other people to get to the level that I know that you all can get to. I don't need this coaching business to make me financially solvent. I make way more money in my other business, right? Now, do you think that you had one person in there saying, man, that's great. What did you do? Can you give me the steps on how it was done, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? when I say I got beat up so bad in that room, I got people saying, man, you lying. You didn't make that much money in one day. Show me your tax returns. Why are you telling people about this? When you lying, why are you putting up false information? That could have been anybody's account. Like, why you like when I say I got ripped to a shreds by almost everybody in that room. And remember, this is a room that we're supposed to be inspiring one another to do better, to learn. It was an industry focused group that people would come together and share ideas on how they can actually become better as agents. But what I found is that if you introduce information to people, if you introduce big dreams to small minds, they will try to destroy your big dream. And that's why we say never introduce, don't cast your pearls before swine. That's one. Everything is not for everybody. And never introduce a big dream to a small mind. Because those people will never get to the level of success. And the reason why is not because they're not smart, not because they're not talented, not because they don't know the skill set, not because they don't know the information. It's because they don't even believe that it's possible for somebody else. How are they going to believe that it's possible for them? So my question for you is, and I always want you to have things to reflect on as we're going through this. What's holding you back in your own mind that maybe you don't believe that it's actually possible, that you believe that it's going to be hard work? Another young lady, she put in a group, she says, yeah, right. You didn't make that much money because if you made that much money, how do you have time to come on here and make a comment? Right? That's what the lady said to me. So I said, ma'am, I said, I understand your concern, but let me teach you a lesson that if you listen to this, it could change your life. I said, it is a myth to say that more money equals less time. In fact, people with money, they'll realize that more time, typically more time comes with more money, comes with more time, not less time. So I actually have more time than you, and you're telling me that how do I have the time to do this? The problem is that you don't have the time to do it, which is why I'm attempting to show you how to do it. And it seems like it was received well. It seems like it was received well. So again, we have to, Ivy just said, I just read your message. We got to unlearn a lot of things if we're going to make it to the next level. So my next question is, what do you need to unlearn so that your mind can be free to learn? Because a lot of times I'm teaching you on top of what you believe that you know to be true. And it's not what you don't know that can hurt you. It's what you believe that you know that's just not true. Because if you believe that you know it, there's no room to teach you. I've had situations where like people have came to me for coaching and I've given them coaching one-on-one. I've talked to them individually and I've actually shared like what they should do, what they could do, but they didn't like the idea. So they left. They said, I don't know about that. I don't know if that's a good idea. I'm leaving, basically. And my question is this. If you get a coach and a coach only tells you to do what you already have been doing, how is that a coach? A coach should challenge you to do something and have you to think in a way that you probably haven't thought before. But some people are so afraid to try and do something new or to do something a different way that they never grow, because if I coach them on something that their mind agreed with, they'll do it. If I coach them on something that their mind didn't agree with, they'll say I'm a bad coach. But what's the good coach and what's the bad coach? Is it a good coach that helps you to see outside of yourself? Or is a good coach just somebody who tells you everything that you already want to hear? So when I'm coaching you, I'm going to tell you some things that might be uncomfortable. I'll tell you what else happens in coaching. As long as people, this is why I attempt to tell you what's going well in my business, and also I tell you what's not going well, so you can see that there's a balance in that, right? It's not always great. You know, there are things that happen that's good, and there are things that happen that won't be good, right? The reason why I tell you that, because what I realize that people do when it comes to coaching, one when it comes to coaching is this. Some people will, what was I saying? I kind of lost track. Oh, some people will love and show up for every coaching session when things are going good. Because we all want to come, we all want to tell our story, we all want to be like, we feel the momentum, I'm going to keep coming, I'm going to keep at it, this is what I believe in, this is great. And people keep coming, they keep getting results, it's great. But as we know in life, not will it happen, when will it happen? There will be some things that will go wrong. There will be some roadblocks that will come your way. There will some things that will cause you to even doubt why you're doing what you're doing. It's going to happen. I mean, it happens to me periodically. Even now, it happens. The question is not, will that happen? It's how will you respond to it when it happens? You know what most people do? Most people, when they're going through a challenging time in their business or their life, they leave. They leave the coaching program. They're like, I need to focus on myself. I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to do that. Right? And I understand, don't get me wrong. Sometimes when you feel like you're in a rut, what most people want to do is they want to isolate themselves. But what I'm here to tell you is that when you are going through a rut, that's the time when you need people the most. That's the time that you need coaching the most. That's the time that there's somebody who's been through something that you've been through, and you need that support of that group. That's not the time that you isolate yourself and say, I'm going to dig out and I'm going to figure it out myself. So a true successful person is a person who's going to show up. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying a person can't be successful if they isolate themselves when they have problems. But when people stick through something, through the good and the bad, they have a much, much higher likelihood to succeed. Like with me, I could have said, man, I just had somebody that quit today. I got somebody who called off sick. I got a client event that I got to coach. I got to do this. I got to do that. I'm helping with the servicing side. I'm not going to do this call today. But guess what? I'm here giving y'all 100%, even though behind the scenes, we're going through what we're going through. Because at the end of the day, is that I have a responsibility. I have made a commitment to myself. I have given my word. My question for you is, what have you given your word to yourself about that you're no longer doing? It don't even have to be business. It could be fitness. It could be health. It could be relationship. It can be a commitment for friendships. It can be whatever. But put a 1 in the chat if you know that you're breaking a prior commitment that you had to yourself. I'm not talking about a commitment that no longer serves you. I'm not talking about a commitment that you're saying, well, I'm going to negotiate that commitment because I've got a better commitment. I'm talking about a commitment that you know you should be doing, that you promise yourself that you're not following. Put a 1 in the chat. And if everybody is honest, everybody should probably have a 1 in the chat, because we all can look at different things that we said that we would be doing by now that we're not doing. And that's okay. This is a period of time where we have to look to clean up our integrity. Did you say you were going to hire somebody that you're not doing? Did you say you were going to book something that you're not booking? Did you say you were going to start something that you're not starting? Did you say you were going to read something that you're not reading? Did you say you were going to communicate to somebody that you're not communicating with? Did you say you were going to forgive somebody that you're not forgiving? What is it? Right? So these are some of the things. These are some of the things that I want us to truly get right with and focus on, because 2024, you all, is about to be a booming year. This is about to be a booming year like no other year before, right? I feel like if you're in this group and you're in contact with me, I'm believing for everybody in this group that 2024 is about to be a year that is surpassing anything that we've ever done before. But before we get that done, the Spirit is telling me that we got to clean up some stuff first. The only thing that's holding us back from this dynamic success is the roadblocks of what we're holding on to, what we're not letting go of, what we're not giving up, what we're not doing, who we're not forgiving, who we're not teaming up with, just something that we committed to ourselves that we're not doing. So my question to you is, what are the roadblocks? Some of y'all, the roadblocks could be simply, I said that I was going to write my 6-year goals and I haven't done it yet. but I keep telling myself that I'm going to do it week to week to week. I say I'm going to do it, and I didn't do it. I didn't do it. And every single week delayed don't set you back a week. You got to understand, a week doesn't set you back a week. A week sets you back months. It's called the cost of waiting. It works the same way mentally as it works with money. Every day that you wait is a compounding effect. And the same thing with your money. So I'm gonna show you how that works with money. And I want you to imagine that this works the same way with your mindset. So give me a second here. I know this ain't like no, it's probably not a call that you were expecting, because it's not like a step-by-step instructional call like I give sometimes. But sometimes we need to focus on our mindset too. We got to focus on getting ourselves right, getting into action, because there's things that we got to do. For me, what is that? For me, it is I need to look through every line item of my finances again, and I need to cancel out all of the things in my personal expenses that I'm overspending on, and also in my business expenses that I'm overspending on, because I was able to start doing that process. I've already found about $11,000 a month that I can save. And sometimes when you're in periods of uphill, you don't think about this, all the extra costs that you waste, and you only start to think about that when money is going down. But I want to start in times of prosperity. I still want to think about what areas am I actually being wasteful in, because I want to manage my money in a way that I'm prosperous and I'm being a great steward of my money at the same time. And that's one of the things that I know that I can do better. So what I'm going to show you all is this chart. Okay. Now, again, this is about money, but it works the same way with roadblocks. So let's just say I'm 25, my retirement age is at 65, and my investment return is 8%. And let's just say I'm saving let's call it $12,000 a year. It's $1,000 a month. So I'm gonna do that for 40 years. 12,000 every year with no inflation protection for 40 years. If I calculated that, you all, that's $480,000 of total contributions that I made into my account. That's a balance of $3,357,372 because of the compound interest of the 8%. So that means that if I save $1,000 a month, $12,000 a year for that 40-year period, I would have $3,357,372. Sounds great. But what if I just waited 5 years? What if I just said, you know what? I can procrastinate. Let me do that when I'm 30. Well, what this shows you now, you can't get to $3,357,000 by saving that same $12,000 a year. Now you need to save $18,000 a year. And if I wait until I'm 40, now I got to save $42,000 a year to get that same $3,357,000, because the power of compound interest is working against me. That's why you have to start now, start early, right? And again, it works the same way with the roadblocks in your life. With the roadblocks in your life, you all, you understand that the week that you say, I'm going to forgive somebody, the month that you say, well, I'm gonna go ahead and set up my go high level, my automation, but I'm not going to set it up yet. I'm going to go ahead and join the mentorship, but let me wait until my money get right and let me join at a later time. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and do that. No, what we have to get better at is we have to get better at acting now. Acting now. So that's my mission to you all this week. I want you all to start taking massive action today, not tomorrow, but today. You didn't join this mentorship to get coaching from me to do things the way that you've always done them. You know, and I'll tell you this, everybody in here, even if you're an action taker, there are some massive actions that you're not taking right now that you know you should be taking. Has anybody had a situation? Anybody want to give me an example of a situation that you have been procrastinating on over and over, week after week after week after week, and then you finally did it, and you was like, why in the hell did this take me so long to do? It took me an hour to get done, and I've been holding on to this for months, if not years. Like, who wants to give me an example of something that they were holding on to when they actually did it? It was like simple. Anybody got any examples?
Yeah, I have to say this, Trisha, and one
Hey,
of my
Trish.
examples. Hey, One of my examples is probably creating my workflow. As a resume writer, career development coach, I had been individually emailing my clients, and when they message me or anything like that, I'll respond back. But instead of, I created my own workflow and was like, what took me so long? And that was just thinking through the whole process. I don't know why. It took me a whole
Just
year.
thinking.
Yes.
Who else got an example? That's good. Who else got an example?
I got an example.
All right.
Getting my life insurance policy. And that and now everything has changed. Whole life changed.
So you procrastinated for a long time. Was it hard? Was it as hard as you made your mind believe it was, or what was holding you up?
Fear and thinking I wouldn't get rejected because of health things. So I paid too much on the premiums. So that's why I didn't do it.
Fear of rejection. That's one of those deep underlying fears. Who else has one?
I have one. So for me, it was putting a beneficiary deed on my house, at least for now, until I can build other things. I just went years and then month after month. I don't know. I guess just expecting that I have time. It's like just thinking I have time, but there is a sense of urgency of like, there is no time to procrastinate at this point for whatever reason. So,
yeah, that's good. That's good. Christina, tell us about the one about your phone. That's a really good example.
Yeah, I was just about to say. So I got a new phone, and for me, I was thinking that it was going to take like 20 hours of my life, because the last time that I switched and got a new iPhone, I went into the Apple store. They did this whole transfer thing and it took hours. And so that experience stayed stuck in my mind. And I thought that that's what I had to do. And in reality, it probably took me like 2 hours. So I spent an hour in T-Mobile, and then I spent an hour over the phone getting everything transferred. So it was so simple. And I asked myself, why did it take me almost a year in order to upgrade and get a new phone with 1 terabyte? Because I need the space, because I'm doing videos. So I don't know. I don't know, but I was like,
and to make that even deeper, we got to ask ourselves, what pain is it causing us while we're procrastinating on a little bit of work that it takes to change our situation? So what pain, I just happen to know this situation since she told me, so this is interesting. What pain were you dealing with that you almost normalized, Christina, because of the fact that you wouldn't get a new phone?
I actually had to delete all my apps. And so I had to use my phone without the apps that I needed for my business. So like I really actually couldn't open Discord, WhatsApp, and I had to delete my Stripe account, Cash App, all of this stuff. Even like my Go High Level app, I had to delete it because I didn't have any space, because the videos was more important, and it was actually causing a problem in my business, because I couldn't send invoices right away. I couldn't even look stuff up on my phone while I was away from my computer. So it was crazy. And I was like, this doesn't make any sense.
So on her to-do list, instead of her putting on her to-do list to just get a new phone, she was putting constantly on her to-do list to delete some apps to make room for something else, which was costing her more time, more energy, more frustration, but it was normal. What have you normalized in your life right now of extra work that you're doing just to compensate for just doing the action that will take that other action away? Could it be hiring somebody? Or are you frustrated with doing all your emails, all of this over and over and over, when all it would take for you to take a few hours to train somebody to take it off your plate, but instead you keep putting the same to-dos over and over and over when it can be taken away simply by doing something one time?
That's me right now.
Who is that?
April, that's me right now. I'm like, I don't really have time to be sitting training people,
Yeah.
which is crazy, because if you train that person, then it takes you out of, you can take that, scratch that off your to-do list. And I'm going through the same thing Christina going through right now on my phone. I can't open certain apps. Discord, I can't open that. WhatsApp, I can't open that. I can't take pictures. I can't create videos. I had somebody over here to create my content yesterday. and her phone was trash. So I can't do nothing. So I'm in the same situation as Katrina, and then I'm also in the same situation as far as me making excuses like, hey, I don't have time to stop and sit and train this person when I need to make time because I'm losing more time for myself and I could be doing something else to reach my goals and knock some of that stuff down. But I'm just saying that in my head, I'm just stuck like you ain't got time to be training nobody. So exactly what you said, that's exactly what I'm going through right now.
And you know, in real life, I think we all know in real life that we don't have time to not train somebody.
Yeah.
I did
And
that
you know
too. You
what?
know, I dealt with me getting a couple of new advisors on my team. I was so busy speaking and doing things like that. I had to eliminate some things on myself. Like for Brandon and Latoya, for example, I trained them to be an agent and to do annuities and to do life insurance. And for the longest, I was like, I don't have time to train them. I don't have time to train them. I don't have time to train anybody. But finally, I hired a COO, and my COO helped me to realize that no, you need to train them. Set the time aside. So I set the time aside, and it was at 6. I was training them at 6 in the morning, you all, for like a week. I trained them every day at 6 in the morning, and probably a couple extra sessions behind that. But they were learning, they were getting it. So I was excited. We were building the momentum. And let me tell y'all, over the last 3 months, by me training Latoya and Brandon, they've made a total of over $700,000 in commission, and the firm has made over $3 million. So it would have cost me $3 million had I not taken an hour a day for a week. So let me ask you all this. Was it worth me taking 8 hours total for $3 million? And it's still happening. It's still reoccurring every year, year after year after year. I'm thinking about, I don't have time to give them an hour at a time. In the meantime, my company is not making the money that it should be making. But when I took the time to train, look at what it did for them and look at what it did for me. I was able to change their life. I was able to help change my company's trajectory. And so training is like essential to me. So I tell myself now, April, I'm not a digital marketing company. I'm not a financial advisory firm. I happen to do financial services, but I'm not a financial advisory firm. I am a marketing and a training firm who just happen to do financial advising. So you adapt your mindset, April, to say that I am a training firm in a marketing firm. I just happen to do I just happen to do digital marketing and credit restoration and all the different things that you do. It's going to change your paradigm. And that's when you start to get growth focus instead of just to do focus. Does that make sense? And get the
Yes.
phone. And get the phone, April. I'm telling you, get the phone. It will change your life. Christina, by you getting the phone, what has that impacted? She was going crazy, right? Downloading as many apps as she could.
So Christina, did you upgrade?
No, I didn't upgrade. I just went and bought a new phone. So now I have 2 phones, okay? One for the
Yeah.
Which
I got an iPad I need to activate. I think I can use that too, but I'm definitely have to get a second phone because I
get your
can't do
15.
nothing.
And also, April, you're a content creator. So,
Yeah.
it's going to be an investment for you to have a better phone with a better camera and better mobility and better functionality to save. I mean, it's costing you money not to. So,
Yes.
but get the most
So-
space. You got to get the terabyte, okay? You'll never run out of space again.
Okay, so
Gotcha.
do I just go in and ask them to add the terabyte?
You can
yeah,
just
it's going to be another
yeah,
phone, but
call
yeah,
them.
you can do that. And it's
Okay.
simple. It's simple. They actually send you the phone. They'll ship you the phone. And when they ship you the phone, you don't even have to go into the stores. You literally can download all of your information from one phone to the next with a click of a button when they ship you the phone. Super simple. All
Okay,
right.
cool.
So with
Thank
that
you.
being said, y'all, we got to get it. So my assignments for y'all today, if you haven't done your 6 year goals and written those out, please make sure you do that. It's not for me, it's for you. It's to help you out. And also I want you to think about what's something that you're procrastinating on. What's something that you need to take action on. And what I want to do is I'm going to read this scroll to you all. And this scroll is one of my favorite books of all time. It's called The Greatest Salesman in the World, the 10 scrolls. You can actually download them online for free. Just type in the 10 scrolls from The Greatest Salesman in the World, and you can download it for free. But this scroll right here is called I Will Act Now. And I'm going to read this to you. And it's scroll number 8. Scroll number 8. So it says, my dreams are worthless. My plans are dust. My goals are impossible. All are of no value unless they are followed by action. I will act now. Never has there been a map, however carefully executed to detail and scale, which carried its owner over even 1 inch of ground. Never has there been a parchment of law, however fair, which prevented even one crime. Never has there been a scroll, even such as the one I hold, which has earned so much as a penny or produced a single word of acclamation. Action alone is the tinder which ignites the map, the parchment, this scroll, my dreams, my plans, my goals into living force. Action is the food and drink which will nourish my success. I will act now. My procrastination, which has held me back, was born of fear. And now I recognize the secret mined from the depths of courageous hearts. Now I know that to conquer fear, I must always act without hesitation, and the flutters in my heart will vanish. Now I know that action reduces the lion of terror to an ant of equanimity. I will act now. Henceforth, I will remember the lesson of the firefly who gives out its light only when it's on the wing, only when it's in action. I will become a firefly, and even in the day, my glow will be seen in spite of the sun. Let others be as butterflies who preen their wings, yet depend on the charity of a flower for life. I will be as a firefly, and my light will brighten the world. I will act now. Henceforth, I will remember the lesson of the firefly who gives off its light only when it's on the wing, only when it is in action. I will become a firefly. I will act now. I will not avoid the task of today and charge them to tomorrow, for I know that tomorrow never comes. Let me act now, even though my actions may not bring happiness or success, for it is better to act and fail than to not act and flounder. Happiness, in truth, may not be the fruit plucked by my action, yet without action, all fruit will die on the vine. I will act now. I will act now. I will act now. I will act now. Henceforth, I will repeat these words again and again and again, each hour, each day, every day, until the words become as much of a habit as my breathing, and the action which follow becomes an instinctive as the blinking of my eyelids. With these words, I can condition my mind to perform every act necessary for my success. With these words, I can condition my mind to meet every challenge which the failure avoids. I will act now. I will repeat these words again, again, and again. When I awake, I will say them and leap from my cot while the failure sleeps yet another hour. I will act now. When I enter the marketplace, I will say them and immediately confront my first prospect while the failure ponders yet his possibility of rebuff. I will act now. When I face a closed door, I will say them and knock while the failure waits outside with fear and trepidation. I will act now. When I face temptation, I will say them and immediately act to remove myself from evil. I will act now. When I am tempted to quit and begin again tomorrow, I will say them and immediately act to consummate another sale. I will act now. Only action determines my value in the marketplace. To multiply my value, I will multiply my actions. I will walk where the failure fears to walk. I will work when the failure seeks rest. I will talk when the failure remains silent. I will call on 10 who can buy my goods while the failure makes grand plans to call on just one. I will say it is done before the failure says it is too late. I will act now. For now is all I have. Tomorrow is the day reserved for the labor of the lazy. I am not lazy. Tomorrow is the day when the evil becomes good. I am not evil. Tomorrow is the day when the weak becomes strong. I am not weak. Tomorrow is the day when the failure will succeed. I am not a failure. I will act now. When the lion is hungry, he eats. When the eagle has thirst, he drinks. Lest they act, both will perish. I hunger for success. I thirst for happiness and peace of mind. Lest I act, I will perish in a life of failure, misery, and sleepless nights. I will command, and I will obey mine own command. I will act now. Success will not wait. If I delay, she will become betrothal to another and lost to me forever. This is the time, this is the place. I am the man or I am the woman. I will act now. If that don't get you inspired to go out and take some action, I don't know what does, you all. Keep that in your mind. I will act now. 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 Say that to yourself. That's my assignment for you this week. Every day, wake up and say that to yourself 50 times. I will act now. I will act now. I will act now. Maybe before you even go to bed, if you want an extra bonus, say that to yourself. You're going to notice that your mind is going to start making you take action that you would normally wait to do. And you're going to see a dramatic change in your life within the next week simply by telling yourself, I will act now, over and over. So with that being said, y'all, I do have to go. Carice, go ahead really quick.
Hey, I have something really quick to say. So we're talking about procrastination and things like that. And I know that what I'm learning is procrastination, not taking action, that's a fruit. So Jab said something, I think when we were doing our 2024 like annual assessment, he says that something to the nature of when we don't complete our goals, that there may be some kind of underlying thing going on subconsciously. Like I think whoever says, I think it was seven or there may be some unresolved trauma or something. So I was really wondering if someone could elaborate on that or help us to kind of unpack that so we can expose the hidden darkness that's causing us to kind of maybe self-sabotage ourselves in a sense. Like why are we procrastinating sometimes?
It just said it's an underlying fear, right? It's always an underlying fear that's in your life. It could be a fear of success. Some people are afraid to succeed. It could be a fear of failing again. Like you think about, man, I've tried this. What if I set goals and everybody else set goals and then they succeed and I don't succeed? What does that say about me? You know, it can be so many different things, right? That it could be. But the whole thing is, that's why I tell you to explore that, right? You know the answer to that, but you have to be still. There's something that says be still and know, right? You got to be still and just act. I'll tell you to ask God that same question, right?
Okay.
You know, and he'll give you the answer to it. All you have to do is just sit back and listen and just say and meditate, but not focus on that, but you're going to focus on who you're going to become, not who you've been. Because that's a roadblock that's being stuck in your life that you keep repeating. That's a story that you told yourself that you need to be free from. So you gotta tell yourself. I'll tell you one way that I got healed from that is I did this program called Landmark. It was called Landmark Forum at the time. Great program. A little bit of manipulative sales tactics, but outside of that, it's a really great program. And one of the things that we did was they said, what is your story? What story are you telling yourself? It could be about your parents. It could be about, because everybody got a parent story, right? I don't care how great your parents were. Everybody got a parent story somewhere. It all stems back to some story when you were a child, when you were 6 years old and somebody rejected you and left you outside. And now you're afraid of abandonment issues and you're 48. You know what I'm saying? But write down that story. Write down whatever story. Don't even try to tell yourself it's BS. Don't tell yourself any of that. Take a line paper, take a pencil, and write or a pen and write out that story on line paper. Just write it out. Then once you write it out, and then you get yourself all your anger of you discussing the past on why you felt this way, and you let the pen just write for you. Do it again. Write it out again.
Okay.
And once you do that, this time you still got some of those emotions, but then you like, by the end of it, you're like, what am I doing? Right. And then after you finish it, write it out again. Now, by the third time or the fourth time you start writing it, you almost start to laugh at it. You're like, this is silly. Like, this story is silly. It's not even real. Right. Keep writing that story out until it no longer appears anymore. And then you could tear it off. And when you could tear it up, then you're empty. And when you're empty and meaningless, when you realize that life is actually empty and meaningless, it's not a bad thing. It sounds depression. It sounds depressing. Solomon said the same thing. Life is empty and meaningless. When you realize that life is empty and meaningless, you realize that means it's a blank canvas and you can create anything that you want. So that's what I would tell you. Make life become empty. and you have to let some things out of your system to become empty. You might have to cry over it. You might have to write it out. You might have to get some counseling, but whatever it is, get healed from it so you can realize that everything that's created is from us. We were made in the image of God. God is a creator of the universe. So if he created the universe, surely you can create your life.
That's good. Thank you. And you said some of those underlying reasons could be fear, it could be this and that. One thing that I did unpack, and I have to explore more, even it can be unworthiness.
Yeah.
Just from those experiences as a child. You cannot even,
so
you can
many
subconsciously
things.
feel that you're not worthy of success. So
Yep.
yeah.
It's worthiness, it's self-esteem, it's bad hurts, it's heartbreak. I mean, this can stem from a lot of different things, but the underlying thing is fear. Fear that you're unworthy, fear that you're not good enough, fear that you're that you'll mess up your success. Fear, all of these are underlying fear. That's the root. The root is fear. You just have to overcome that, and you have to name that fear and get delivered from that fear. All right.
That's good.
Well, you
Thank
all, this
you.
was a good meeting. Hopefully y'all got something out of this today. You know, some meetings we going technical and we going step by step on what to do. This one was more of a let's free up our mind to get ready to release some stuff. Release some stuff for 2024. Get rid of the old so that we can have an empty blank canvas for the new. I want you all to have an empty blank canvas because we're about to do some great things in 2024, and I want you all to be ready. But I can't help you if you just holding on to all of this baggage. We got to get rid of the baggage. So God bless you all. Take us out. Take us out, Carice, since you were just talking.
Okay, so let's just remember that we are worthy, we are enough, that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and a sound mind. So anytime we're fearful, we reject that because we know that's a spirit that comes from the devil. So on the count of 3, let's dominate. 1, 2, 3.
Dominate.
Hey.
Have a great day,
All
y'all.
right.
Have a good day,
Blessings,
everybody.
everybody.
Welcome, Seven, Ivy, and Robert.